Jai Shiva. Today we are going to talk about Gyan, wisdom, and karma. How to balance that, how to manage that. See, Gyan or the wisdom or the knowledge, you can say, you'll go on acquiring a lot and very quickly. Why? Mind functions very quickly, isn't it? You have a good intellect and you are curious by nature and you have good focus, good concentration. So you will go on acquiring lots and lots and lots of knowledge all the time. Okay? There's no doubt about it. Some may be really good knowledge, some may be, you know, just illusionary kind of knowledge which will put you into more illusions and stuff. So all kinds of knowledge you will go on acquiring, right? Until you put that knowledge into practice in life, you will not know what it does, first of all, to you, to your existence. How does it changes your existence? Or if it even changes your existence, if it does anything to you, you'll not know that, right? And you will also not know until you apply it in your life, in your practical life, through your karma, until you apply it, you are not going to know whether it is true or not, right? That is why it is said that a spiritual journey, the wisdom of yoga, union, merger, the wisdom related to truth that is there. Truth means Sat Chit Ananda. Truth means the entire truth about entire cosmos, truth about creation, Prakriti, truth about Atma, the real you that you are, and truth about Paramatma, the Brahma, the source of creation that is there. You'll not know all these truth until, so the truth and everything is known only by putting things into practice, you have to put everything to practice in life. You have to apply it in life. Okay? And then if it works, it's fine. If it helps you, very good. Otherwise, you will at least know what doesn't work on you, what is wrong, what is untruthful, what is illusionary wisdom. At least you will know that much. So your intellect will become sharper and sharper and sharper. Your vivek means your power of discernment will be purified through this process. All kinds of wrong things when you go on, looking into it. I'm not saying waste too much time on something that is wrong. Okay, you'll know it in few days if you're really serious about it. So don't waste too much time, but at the same time, do not stop yourself, refrain yourself from applying that knowledge. Now, this is one thing. Another thing to understand is that Gyan, wisdom or knowledge, is always and always more than what you can actually practically live. In other words, it is always and always more than the karma that you do, the karma that you do. And karma is done through actions, through speech, and through your mind, through your psychological existence, right? Through your manomay kosh. So karma is done at 3 levels. Still, even if you do the karma, if you suppose, say, for example, somebody told you that this is what will happen through the dharana, through the one pointed meditation, and this is what will happen, and this is what will achieve, and this is how your spiritual journey will progress, and all that. Somebody tells you that, or you read somewhere, or you listen to somebody, in whichever way you get that knowledge from, and you apply it, and you start doing it, and you apply it in your life. Then, even then, when you apply it and you start living it, in other words, when you embody that wisdom, embody that knowledge, then it becomes wisdom. Then only it becomes gyan, that it starts transforming you. So that knowledge which transforms you, you means your panchakoshas, your entire existence. When something transforms you, that is when it is called as wisdom or Gyan. Gyan. So the difference between knowledge and the actual word Gyan is that knowledge is something that you just came to know. You learned something mentally. Okay, mentally, emotionally, you learned something from it could be from the some event in the life, it could be from a book, it could be from a guru's teaching, or it could be from somewhere, or the gyan just within, from within, internally happen to you. Okay, and you just apply it in life and do it and embody it. When you practice it, embody that knowledge, and it becomes a living truth for you. Okay, then it is called as gyan or wisdom. When it helps you perceive through the subtle existence that you are, then it is called as wisdom. Then it is called as, actually called as gyan. Gyan is, gyan in Hindi we say that gyan we have to dharan. Dharan means we have to embody the gyan, the wisdom. So wisdom has to be embodied, and you cannot just embody it in your psyche, in your mind, and in your psychology, mentally. So you cannot do much mental gymnastic about it. Instead, it has to become a living truth for you. A lot of people say, for example, a lot of people get knowledge about how to do tratak meditation. Tratak is meditation is when you take something. There is external tratak meditation and there is internal tratak meditation. Tratak means staring at one thing, maintaining the one pointed focus. If done on a candle or something outside you, on a tree, on anything, when it is practiced that way and on something external, then it's called as external tratak. When you practice something within, when you focus on something within you, and it could be just, just a chittavritti, just a bad sanskara, just a bad pattern in you that you are trying to let go, and you put your one pointed focus on it, then you know what to do about it, how to let it go, how to resolve it. It could be a piece of karma in you. So you can do internal tratak as well. So, but initially people will try to do external tratak, external tratak, external tratak, and they'll become so damn perfect in it that even one look at somebody will give you the entire information about that person to an extent, right? You will know about their existence, you will know about whatever events have happened in this life, or it could be from the even from the past life, if you reach that level of tratak meditation. So this is then, it goes to that level that now initially you may be sitting for an hour or 2 hours, and that was your practice, and you were asking your guru, okay, for how long do I need to do tratak before I become that way? No, it's not about how long you need to do it. The intensity of doing it should be really, 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 really great intensity. Very high intensity you have to maintain. Then you may not need to do something for so long. And then another thing is that you, if you are really serious about it, then you do not worry about whether it was a 1 hour practice or 2 hour practice or 30 minutes practice that your guru asked you to do, or 11 minutes practice that your guru asked you to do. You now look at everything with that same one pointed focus. So that becomes your living practice now. If you're looking at a tree outside, then you look at it in that one pointed focus, and you know how old that tree is, or if something happened under that tree, if any events happened around that tree, whatever were the circumstances, if that tree is like 1,000 years old, you'll be able to know all that. You see, if you look at people, children, or any life circumstances, suddenly you have the wisdom about everything. When you do a tratak on particular thing, so then it becomes your, now you have started embodying that practice. It becomes your living practice. And then when, if your level of vairagi, your level of dispassion is really great, and you have really intense dispassion within, then your gaze turns inward. Then you are much more focused on What chittavritti or psychological pattern is about to arise from within me? You become your gaze, it everything just turns inwards. And then you can see, you'll know a lot about yourself. How did I made this karma? From in which lifetime I created this karma with this person or that person, or may not be with the person, then with myself. Why? How come this ignorance took place in me in the first place? How did this ignorant thing happen to me? How did this illusionary wisdom happen to me? Your gaze will turn inward and you will know everything about yourself. So you see how far the tratak can go, how far that one pointedness can go. It started with just staring a candle or maybe looking at something, some yantra, some mandala or something like that. It can go that far. It's that deep. So that is how, but no matter how much tatak you do, the wisdom, the knowledge, the physically you can look at anything and everything only till the time you are awake. Even you can turn your gaze inward only when you are not sleeping, right? Some people can turn it when it goes to really advanced level, then sleep becomes a conscious thing too. But until that happens, there is a limitation on how long you'll go on looking at things one pointedly, even within yourself, not just outside. Your eyes will get tired, your mind will get tired, and you say, okay, I just want to shut down all this, and I just want to sleep for some time, I just want to rest and relax, right? So you'll stop somewhere. But that internal tratak will go on and on and on even when you are sleeping. And if you are in some levels of samadhis and savikalpa samadhis and savichara samadhis, then the tratak goes on happening consciously, even on the entire cosmos. You'll know about the galaxies, the stars, different lokas, this, that, everything. So that knowledge is going to be a lot. The wisdom is always a lot in comparison to the karma or the practice that we can put it into. So that's why wisdom has to be embodied. And even if it's, what is the purpose of embodying the wisdom? Not to play around or fool around with the wisdom, right? Not to do, have seek pleasure or have some supernatural powers and go on boasting them or showing off with them and playing around with the karma of your own karma and with the karma of the other people. So that's not the purpose. The purpose of all this is embodying the wisdom is to increase the speed of transformation within you. I've seen a lot of people who come to me. It takes them a year or 2 years or even 3 years or even 5 years to let go of something. Why not 3 days? Why not 3 hours then? To how to increase that, the speed of transformation. Your speed of transformation, your rate of transformation depends upon how much wisdom you embody, how much wisdom you practically apply in your life through your spiritual practices, through your entire way of living. Just take another example, not just Ratak meditation, just take another example. Something very simple, focus on breath. Can you, if your guru or some teacher or somebody or some teaching you may have heard or read about it, that if you focus on breath for 11 minutes, 21 minutes, or 40-45 minutes or an hour or whatever, then it does wonders to you, and it raises the level of consciousness that you are. It transforms you with good speed and everything like that. But then why it can't be a 24/7 practice? So the degree or the rate, or to the extent you apply bookish knowledge or guru's teaching or scriptures, knowledge from scriptures, or you know somebody advised you, something like that, To the extent you apply it in your practical life, daily living, day by day living, hour by hour living, moment by moment living, to the extent you apply it is the extent to which you will transform. You understand? It's directly proportional. Gyan and karma. Is still, Gyan is always going to be more. Wisdom is always going to be more than the karma that we can ever do. At times, once we have the wisdom, we have that realization, there comes a time when even living it practically may not make much sense. You know, say for example, a lot of people, when you are walking your journey towards Samadhi and everything, suddenly you'll start eating raw food, and you will then you'll stop eating non-veg if you were a non-vegetarian and everything. But once that is over, the purpose of that whole thing is over, then you may be back to eating whatever you were used to of eating. It doesn't matter to you now. So later on, when that application of that wisdom has done its job, you have achieved the purpose that you are trying to achieve through that, then you may or may not see that in the practice of people, right? At one point of time, you may be doing pranayamas. Once you reach the level of samadhi, your entire breath is a pranayama. In the very way you breathe, in every moment it becomes a pranayama. So then what is the need of just sitting, doing sadhana again for an hour, for 30 minutes, or 2 hours, 3 hours? It actually does not matter. And once you have enlightenment, once you attain samadhi, then you are always in that state. It's irreversible. The transformation that happens to you through samadhis, even the lower level samadhis, the transformation is permanent. So then you don't need to just go sit again and make a pose, make a mudra like this, like that, and then sit and say, okay, now I am in samadhi. No, you're always in that. Oh, only when I sit like this I can feel Paramatma, Brahma. I can be in that Ananda, that Paramanand, and I can feel it only when I sit like that. No, it's not like that. The moment you close your eyes, the samsara is gone. Nothing exists except Paramatma and that Paramananda that you get. So you see that you may not see people doing. So that's why all practices, the practical application of the wisdom is considered as a boat that will take you from point A to point B in the river. River means this samsara, this world. Will take you from point A to point B. But once your journey is over, the purpose is solved. Do not carry that boat, right? You don't have to carry on that practice. Just leave it. To work with something else. Start with something else. So that's how we come from wisdom to practical life, wisdom to application of wisdom into knowledge, into your very way of living, moment by moment, day by day, week by week, hour by hour. It's through your speech, and it's all the time within you. The manan, the chintan, the introspection is going on and on and on and on within you. So those who think, or those who say that I am walking my spiritual journey through Gyan Marg, path of Jnana, path of wisdom, I'm walking my journey through that way. So I will just keep reading books and I'll get a ton of knowledge. But not even an inch of transformation has happened. You can't even silence your mind for 1 minute, 60 seconds. If you give a command to your mind, just no thoughts at all. You do not even have that much command or control. Then what's the use of that bookish knowledge? It's not Gyan Marg then. Path of Jnana does not mean gathering bookish knowledge, keep reading this, keep reading that. That Gyan has to be embodied, it has to be applied in practical life. It's very much the way of living. It becomes your speech, your thought process, everything. It has to reflect in everything. Your entire existence should reflect that Gyan. That is when it will transform you. If it is not transforming, then There may be so many libraries around you, and one exists in your head as well. What's the big deal about it? Library itself is of no use until consciousness is there. Somebody conscious is there to apply that wisdom somewhere. Can somebody go on? Can a doctor say that I'm trying to become a doctor through uh, Gyan path, Gyan Marg, right? Through the path of wisdom. So I'll go on reading the books. But if it comes to surgery, no, I'm not going to butcher anybody. I'm not going to cut the dead bodies to learn. I'm not going to repair or fix the anything. I'll not learn how to practically stitch people. I'll not learn how to do surgery. Imagine how many surgeries my doctor, neurosurgeon might have done to fix my hand, to figure out where the nerve has been cut, where is the artery, how many surgeries, how many bodies they might have opened just to learn. If they would have read the book, okay, so this nerve goes from here, that nerve goes from there, but there is no practical application, you do not want to go to that kind of a surgeon, isn't it? So what kind of a spiritual journey it would be if the wisdom or practical is not applied into the practical life, is not learned practically through your panchakoshas? If it is not applied in your panchakoshas, through your physical body, through your energy body, through your mental and emotional body, if it is not learned that way, what's the use? It won't transform you. Then you are not on the Gyan Marg. You are just bullshitting yourself. And you need to stop sooner than later. Read less, gain less knowledge. But then, first job is to apply it. Don't go on reading, and learning and gathering knowledge and trying to fit everything in your head. Don't do that. I remember when I was walking my own spiritual journey, I was reading Yoga Vasisht just before my enlightenment, before my Samadhi. It took me 1 year. Really, it took me 1 year. It's just this much of a book. Given my speed of reading and the way I read things is like it should be an hour long book. That's it. And I would have comprehended and understood everything. But no, I want that. It's the last gyan, that last wisdom that Guru Vasisht gave to Bhagwan Ram. It's not that easy to grasp. You need to be all the time in the state of samadhis to grasp it, to understand it completely. So I would just read one paragraph and close the book, because I knew I have read it and I understand it mentally, but I really don't know it until I apply it until I realize that wisdom, it's of no use. This wisdom transformed Bhagwan Ram, helped him attain Samadhi, right? So then this wisdom is there to help people attain Samadhi. So then there is something to do about it. And then not everything can be done just from the normal level of human level of consciousness. A lot of things are done at the Samadhi level of consciousness, right? So you have to maintain that. You have to apply that gyan there. And then a realization happen. Oh, this is what it means. Oh, now I get it. And now I know where a little piece of little teeny tiny bit of ignorance was hiding in me. Now I know it. And I fixed it, removed it. And then I went on reading another paragraph, another page, whatever amount of knowledge that I could apply and I didn't have before. Not everything in that book I had to apply because my journey completed before that. But yeah, whatever pieces of wisdom was there, I had to apply it. So that is how I lived my entire life, this lifetime. Not just the bookish knowledge. And I had, mind it, I have read a lot of books. I was a bookworm since childhood. So, and my speed of reading and comprehending and understanding even that which the writer is not writing, reading in between the lines and here and there and understanding the entire context of it, everything. So, but I always looked at, okay, so this, I have read this, but I do not know this truly. So that knowing means having a direct perception of that knowledge, that wisdom through your panchakoshas. Then it becomes an embodied wisdom. And that is called as Gyan Marg. In a way, I was on the Gyan Marg. But my bhakti, my devotion in Paramatma was unshakable, unbreakable. No matter what the difficult situations and circumstances I had in life, never ever that was shaken. The only thing that was shaken within me, that yes, I am ignorant about him. I don't know him. And I wanted to know him. So my bhakti was complete too. 100% bhakti. So there comes a time when jnana, bhakti, karma, all that has to become a union. All four paths: Kriya, Bhakti, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. All of those have to become one in you. All those four have to be integrated within you. Only when you create an integration of these four within you, Samadhi happens. You cannot say, I'm 50% Bhakti, I'm 70% Gyan, 50% I'm walking on the Bhakti path, and 70% I'm walking my journey through wisdom, path of wisdom. 40% I pay attention to the karma that I do through the physical body, or through speech, or through my chit, through my manomay kosh. So all three levels of karma. So 40% is that. And you cannot make a distinction like that. It doesn't work like that. Whatever you are, you should be full, 100% into everything. And all these four have to be integrated within you. They are not independent in nature. They are not separate than you. Only when you have 100% bhakti, you are able to attain the gyan, the wisdom. The closer you move towards Paramatma, God, the more you acquire his quality of being a Sarvagyani, means all knowing. So for that you need bhakti to travel, bhakti to raise the level of your consciousness, and then you go on having jnana. So bhakti is not blind. I'm not talking about that emotion of devotion. No. True bhakti, atma bhakti. Okay? So you have to apply the wisdom in life, in your panchakoshas. Embody that wisdom. Otherwise, you are not walking a spiritual journey. Any kind of a spiritual journey for that matter. Namaste. Jai Shiva.